Good morning, Bookeemonsters. Welcome back to my channel. My name is PK. We're going to be looking at new releases this week. Each day of the week, we look at a different genre. Today, we will be looking at mysteries, thrillers, things like that. Yesterday, we looked at cozy mysteries. We'll be looking at cozy mysteries again because it's always a lot of them. Today is Tuesday, November 28th. First Tuesday after the long weekend. Going for 5 full days. We can do this. Hope you are having a good day. If you're watching this later, appreciate that. If you're watching it now, appreciate that. All right, let us jump in. Let's go here. All right. Just some quick announcements while we're setting this up. We do have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. It'll go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book or work on a project or just close your eyes and relax after a long day. This came out in October. Let's check this one out. Secret autopsies. That doesn't sound good. All right. Patricia Cornwell. Another new one. 27th in the Kate Carspetta series. Unnatural Death. Two mauled bodies in the woods, top secret autopsies, the most chilling cases of Scarpetta's career. In this thrilling new installment of Patricia Cornwell's #1 best-selling Scarpetta series, Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Kay Scarpetta finds herself in a Northern Virginia wilderness examining the remains of two campers wanted by federal law enforcement. The victims have been savaged beyond recognition, and other evidence is terrifying and baffling, including a larger-than-life footprint. After one of the most frightening body retrievals of her career, Scarpetta must discover who would commit murders this savage and why. Good for her for still writing. Good morning, Jen. Happy Tuesday. Indeed. Indeed. Starting off with a good attitude always helps. And a cup of coffee or tea. The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose, second in the Molly the Maid series. Molly Gray is not like anyone else. With her flair for cleaning and proper etiquette, she has risen through the ranks of the glorious five-star Regency Grand Hotel to become the esteemed head maid. But just as her life reaches a pinnacle state of perfection, her world is turned upside down when J.D. Grimthorpe, the world-renowned mystery author, drops dead, very dead, on the hotel's tea-room floor. When Detective Stark, Molly's old foe, investigates the author's unexpected demise, it becomes clear that this death was murder most foul. Suspects abound, and everyone wants to know who killed J.D. Grimthorpe. Was it Lily, the new maid in training, or was it Serena, the author's secretary? Could Mr. Preston, the hotel's beloved doorman, be hiding something? And is Molly really as innocent as she seems? As the high-profile death threatens the hotel's pristine reputation, Molly knows she alone holds the key to unlocking the key's identity, but that key is buried deep in her past, as long ago she knew J.D. Grimthorpe. Molly begins to comb her memory for clues, revisiting her childhood and the mysterious Grimthorpe mansion where she and her dearly departed Gran once worked side by side. With the entire hotel under investigation, Molly must solve the mystery post haste, because if there's one thing she knows for sure, it's that secrets don't stay buried forever. Anything planned for you today, Jen? I had a very productive work day yesterday, so I'm hoping I can continue the trend. Assassin's Mark by Ward Larson, 10th in the David Slayton series. We always double check the release date because they like to sneak things in. It's for this week. With the help of CIA operative David Slayton, America has shaken off a series of high tech attacks. Then, just as the threat seemed to have receded, the most brazen strike of all, Marine One, is brought down in the heart of the capital. This president survives the crash, but is clinging to life by a thread. Once again, Slayton gets the call. With limitless backing from the CIA, the agency's most lethal assassin is dispatched halfway around the world. But as his mission nears completion, he finds himself targeted by a talented adversary, a ruthless young assassin who moves like a ghost and whose motives are unclear. What is clear is that Trident is not yet finished, and that there is a high level traitor in the U.S. government, and the only way forward is to topple conspiracy in the uppermost echelons of Washington. If you're in the mood for a thriller, headed to the doctor today. Been fighting a sinus infection since Saturday, so it's time to get some medicine. Oh, I hope it goes well. Are you getting rest and everything? Kindle Unlimited Nowhere Man by Graham Wilson. This is two books in one. Books 1 and 2 of Dark Australian Story, set in landscape of Crocodile Dundee. Who is the man from nowhere? Parts of his body found in a remote waterhole. Ew. And who is the woman with him on the days before he died? What first looks like a crocodile attack turns into murder. Now the police have located her. She is an English backpacker. She hid evidence of her presence before returning to her home. She is arrested and brought back to Australia on a charge of murder. She refuses to tell anyone what happened on that last fateful day. It's very strangely written, but we accept this. If you're looking for an Australia type of book, let's jump over here. Looks like there are some here that aren't listed here, so we'll check these out. Kids Run the Show. I already hate it. By Alison Anderson. Translation. Actually, it's by Delphine de Vigan. A cautionary tale for a world in which social media has shattered the boundaries of intimacy. The first time that Melanie met Clara, she was stunned by Clara's sense of authority, and for her part, Clara was struck by Melanie's pink, glittery nails, which shimmered in the dark. She looks like a child, thought the first. She looks like a doll, pondered the second. These two women, both of the same generation, exposed to the same forms of media throughout their lives, could not be more different in adulthood. Melanie is a social media superstar, broadcasting her children's daily lives on a family YouTube channel. Clara is a young police officer assigned to the case after Melanie's daughter, Kimmy, is abducted. Traversing the Big Brother generation, the social media influencer generation, and right up to the 2030s, Delphine de Vignon offers a bone-chilling expose of a world where everything is broadcasted and monetized, even family happiness. Okay, that kind of started to sound interesting there. The fiction writer, author of The Christie Affair, follows a writer hired by a handsome billionaire to write about his family history with Daphne du Maurier, and finds herself drawn into a tangled web of obsession, marital secrets, and stolen manuscripts. The once rising literary star Olivia Fitzgerald is down on her luck. Her most recent novel, a retelling of Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca, which everybody does, which is a fabulous book, leave it alone, was a flop. Her boyfriend of 9 years just dumped her, and she's battling a bad case of writer's block. So when her agent calls her with a high-paying ghostwriting opportunity, Olivia is all too willing to sign the NDA. At first, the write-for-hire job seems too good to be true. All she has to do is interview Henry Asherwood, a reclusive mega-billionaire, twice named People's Sexiest Man Alive, who wants her help in writing a book that reveals a shocking secret about his late grandmother and Daphne du Maurier. But when Olivia arrives at his Malibu estate, nothing is as it seems. The more Olivia digs into his grandmother's past, the more questions she has. Before she knows it, she's trapped in a gothic mystery of her own. With as many twists and turns as the California coast, the fiction writer is a page turner that explores the boundaries of creative freedom and whose stories we have the right to tell. Also interesting. I really want to read The Mystery Guest. I'm one that loved The Maid. I know a lot of people were split over it. That one was on my radar. I just haven't gotten to it yet. So sounds like you are recommending it. I might have to check this out because I have nothing to read on my TBR. I know. Okay, so we did Assassin's Mark. Blaze Me a Sun. Please. Oh, I'm sorry, my nose is tickling. Police procedural. We shall see. Checking, checking, and checking. Came out in January. Gray Man. When did this come out? Some of these are just coming out in paperback from an earlier release. Yep, this came out in February. December. Looks like Clive Cussler. I don't know if I'm trusting this website right now. Let's go to the cozies. We pretty much, well, not always, but my TBR is just wishful thinking. And I love all these booktubers that say, here's what I'm reading this coming month. And I could do that, but I am so much of a mood reader that I never know what I'm reading from day to day. Arsenic and Ascot. This is by Kelly Oliver, Kindle Unlimited, fourth in the Fiona Figg and Kitty Lane mysteries. London, 1918. Fiona Figg finds herself back in Old Blighty, saddled with shuffling papers for the War Office. Then a mysterious card arrives, inviting her to a fancy house party at Mintmore Castle. This year's Ascot theme do will play host to a stable of animal defense advocates, and Fiona is tasked with infiltrating the activists and uncovering possible anti-war activity. Disguised as the Lady Tabitha Kenworthy, Fiona is more than ready for the main event. But the odds are against her when both her arch nemesis, Dark Horse, Frederick Fredericks, and would-be fiancé Lieutenant Archie Summersby arrive unexpectedly and stir up her plans. Oh my god, they keep... And when a horse doctor thuds to the floor in the next guest room, Fiona finds herself investigating a mysterious poisoning with some very hairy clues. Can Fiona overcome the hurdles and solve both cases, or will she be put out to pasture by the killer? Somebody had way too much fun. Killing Grinds by A.N. Sage. Me too. I'm a huge mood reader. My monthly TBR is usually just a few specifics, like my book club pick, and then a bunch of others to choose from. Yeah, like either next in series of something that I have enjoyed, or new releases that I know I'm going to read. But then after that, it's anything goes, if even that. uh, Third in the Orchard Hollow, Killing Grinds. Hey, we don't have a puppy or a kitten. It's a raccoon. Yep, this week. Third in Orchard Hollow. Piper Addison is in it deep. Turns out finding out how your ghost familiar met her doom is not as easy as it sounds. Tourist season is over, and Orchard Hollow is as peaceful as ever. Piper Addison, the town witch and cafe owner, finally gets to kick back her sneakers and relax. The weather is glorious, her dusty love life has been resurrected, and she's all caught up on binge watching shows. Nothing can be better. Well, except for one slight problem. Piper promised her ghost familiar she'd help find out what landed her in the land of the non living. It wouldn't be so bad if the ghost didn't have a case of amnesia and a serious need of attitude adjustment. One thing is for certain, Piper's familiar didn't kick the bucket by choice. Between figuring out the mystery of Stella's demise, battling a raccoon for cookies, and tracing her mom's steps, hoping to reunite with a father she never met, Piper has her hands full, and this time even her strange magic might not be enough to get her out of this bind. I think we looked at this one last week. Last week kind of combined the week and this week with the holiday. Murder Wears a Hidden Face by Rosemary Simpson. Eight out of eight of the Gilded Age mysteries. February 1891, New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art is hosting an exhibition, yes, we did read this one, of Chinese art objects, timed to coincide with the arrival of the new Chinese cultural attaché, Lord Peng. And death ensues. Pantomime murders. And you know the reason why I prefer to be looking at new releases rather than telling people what I'm reading, um, reviews and so forth, is I'm always looking for things to read, always. And you don't know what's out there till you look at each and everything, because you never know if you like it. By Fiona Vetch Smith, second in the Miss Clara Vale mysteries. Someone is killing fairy godmothers in Cinderella. Can Miss Clara Vale crack the case before the clock strikes 12? 1929, December. Snow is falling, and Miss Clara Vale is wrapped up against the cold as she braves the icy streets of Newcastle in her latest investigation. When a young actress from the touring pantomime of Cinderella arrives at her door, Clara isn't sure what to make of her request. Sybil Langford, the legendary fairy godmother in the production, has mysteriously vanished. Could Clara help track her down? But a few days into Clara's search, Sybil's body is pulled from an icy river, and Clara finds herself in the middle of yet another murder mystery. With scheming stepsisters waiting in the wings, handsome princes who aren't all they seem, and clues as elusive as glass slippers, Clara will need every one of her scientific skills to catch the killer. And when Sybil's replacement meets her own tragic end, Clara is in a race against time before the murderer sends a third cast member into their unhappily ever after. Murder with Chocolate Tea by Karen Rose Smith. 10th in the Daisy Tea Garden Mysteries. Always check the publication, and we're okay. Last week of November, isn't that crazy? Daisy Swanson, bride-to-be and owner of Daisy's Tea Garden in Pennsylvania's Amish country, may have one or two more murders to solve before she says, I do. Daisy has a lot to celebrate this summer. She's supervising a special tea event to help commemorate the 100-year anniversary of her town's historic covered bridge. But the main event is her upcoming wedding to her beloved fiancé, Jonas. Somehow Willow Creek's busiest brewer of specialty teas and amateur sleuth still finds time to be a guest on local journalist Trevor Lundquist's crime podcast to discuss the last murder she solved. After the podcast, Trevor receives an anonymous tip from a caller who claims a travel chest that's about to be auctioned holds a clue to a 20-year-old unsolved murder. Is it a hoax or a genuine lead? When a body turns up in Willow Creek, Trevor suspects a connection between this current homicide and the cold case. Has the murderer killed again to cover their tracks? Now Daisy has another mystery steeping, and Trevor may have just had his last podcast. Missing from Dunhaven Castle. Six in the Kate Kenzie Cozy Mysteries by Nellie H. Steele. This came out November 7th. All right, moving along because we only do ones from this week. The Missing Red Carpet Mystery. Kindle Unlimited, or you can buy it for 99 cents. Checking the date. We are good. Fourth in the supermarket series. Meet the Workers of Kingsley Kotsave. I'm probably saying these wrong. There's B, a maths whiz with a heart of gold, Aunt, a hapless high school dropout, and wisecracking Dot in her late 50s and always beautifully coiffed. A royal visit is coming to Kingsley, definitely worth rolling out the red carpet for. The only problem is no one's actually seen the red carpet since the grand opening of the deli counter back in 2001. Our lovable amateur sleuths are on the case. Ant is searching for the carpet, but B and the rest of the team have another problem on their hands. A young lad is spotted shoplifting, and new security guard Evan gives chase down the high street. Later that day, the boy is found dead. Gentle giant Evan swears he let the boy go after Rugby tackling him to the ground. So how did the lad wind up dead? The supermarket sleuths are on the case. Turtle Terror. This will probably be our last one. We are running out of time. Checking the date, and we're good. By Jasmine Webb, ninth in the Charlotte Gibson Mysteries. With the Ham brothers trying to get their revenge on Charlie, she's not about to sit back and let them ruin her life. While she's trying to stop them, there are other problems on the island. A woman Dot knows has been killed, and she wants justice. Obviously, Charlie is on the case, but will the crew be able to stop to keep Rosie and Dot's true skills secret from those close to them? And how is Jake going to handle both his recovery from his gunshot wound and help bring the Seattle gang to justice? As Charlie gets closer to the island's killer, she realizes there's more to this crime than she first thought, and she's in more danger than she expected. Will Charlie get to the bottom of this case before she becomes turtle food? Click here to pre-order now. Operators are standing by. Okay. Whoa, we didn't need to do that. We clicked too soon. All right. Cup of coffee on our way out here. Jen says, I was watching a video for a January reading challenge this morning, and it blew my mind that January will be here so soon. I know. I know. It's just crazy. And now Christmas is less than a month away. I know. I know. And did I get everything that I meant to read this year? No. Which leads me to, I kind of try to have themes each month, mostly personal themes, but you can always adopt them for your own. I'm calling December the Big Finish, where you have any books that you've sort of abandoned throughout the year, you want to complete them. If you want to read those epic books you've already been putting off, if you haven't reached your Goodreads goal or whatever reading goal you personally have, this is the time to do that big December, the Big Finish. So that's kind of the thought behind that thing. Have a great day. You have a great day too. I appreciate you being here, Jen. It helps keep me company. Again, tonight we have reading sprints at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern, and they'll go for 2.5 hours. We'll listen to nice ambiance and read a book, meditate, work on a hobby or like a Christmas project, things like that. This is time carved out for you. Also remember, if you are reading something that you are not liking, it's okay to set it down. I give you permission. Reading is enjoyable. It's not something to be slugging through. So, and as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good Tuesday. Thank you so much. God bless.